Have you noticed that the economy is burning to the ground? Have you noticed some problems with government? Have you noticed that the government just keeps spending and spending and spending money that they don't have? Have you noticed that there are complete fools in the government who think that they can spend their way out of a debt crisis? Well, I certainly have. And allow me to put out that fire right now. I'd like to first start out the video by wishing everybody a happy Federal Reserve Act Day. What's the Federal Reserve Act? Well, the Federal Reserve Act is a law signed into law by Woodrow Wilson in 1913 on today, December 23rd. And what did that effectively do? Well, what it effectively did was ensure banking, cronyism, corporatism, and abolish capitalism. Yes, it's true, folks. It's true. So, if you follow me on Twitter, you may have noticed that I've been tweeting about ending the Federal Reserve. Why? Because capitalism has not existed since 1913, when the Federal Reserve Act was signed into law. So, I figured I'd take the opportunity to wish everybody a happy Federal Reserve Day. What happened in 1913 is that Woodrow Wilson, who, by the way, even considered the Federal Reserve Act himself to be a mistake after he signed it, what happened with it is people came back from the Christmas holiday on January 2nd, and they came back to work only to discover that capitalism had been destroyed. So if you follow me on Facebook, you may see the post on Facebook. It's also on Instagram, also on Twitter, twitter.com/smAsho. Go follow me over there if you haven't. So yeah, the Federal Reserve Act, signed into law on December 23rd, 1913, which created a central bank for the United States, something totally not necessary. The largest block of business in the world is the interest on corporate and international loans. So why is it that the Federal Reserve is able to artificially adjust those? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. What about you? It's totally not necessary in the year 2020. And the way to defang the Fed is to simply construe interest rates as a price. Why is that? Well, because think about it. If you're shopping for a mortgage, the price on that mortgage is the interest rate. And since banks are able to, and indeed required to, artificially adjust the prime lending rate on the largest blocks of business in the world, which are international and corporate loans, that's not capitalism. That's corporate cronyism, and that's what's going on currently. So, if you'd like to see government spending reeled in, if you'd like to see a real capitalist economy happen, we need to get rid of central banks. And this is part of the reason why the U.S. hates Syria. I won't get into that in depth, but that's what's going on. So if you want to see cronyism continue, then support Keynesian economics and the Federal Reserve. If you'd like to see a solution, well, we'll talk about this at a later time. Make sure you subscribe over at youtube.com/smAsho. We're also on BitChute, and don't forget to check out our homepage, smAsho.com. You can find all of our social media links there. And what are some of the effects of a central bank? Well, one of the effects of a central bank are an inflated money supply. What happens with an inflated money supply? Well, corporations are incentivized to buy back their own stock. Now, I'm not picking on Tesla, but here's a one-year chart of Tesla, and that is not a stock you should be buying, because you should be buying low and selling high. So this is a prime example of what happens with an inflated money supply. The valuation of the dollars held by all the poorest and oldest people in the economy get devalued. Why? Because the government can continue to spend and spend and spend as the Federal Reserve purchases bonds from the government, which the government is required to pay back with interest. So if you want to hear about solutions to this kind of nonsense and to raise all ships, obviously one of the ways, once again, to do it would be to create a real market for money So anyway, there's the 1-year chart of Tesla. And the point is, don't go chasing a tiger like that. Don't be buying things when they're utterly inflated like this. As, hey, I'm not picking on Tesla in particular. I've just picked a random stock that's been very active and showing you what not to buy. So, again, companies are incentivized through this cheap money to pay their employees in stock, which is effectively a stock payback, a stock buyback program. One of the solutions would be Mises.org, so perhaps check out that website. It's called Austrian economics, which is the opposite of Keynesian economics. And again, abolishing the Federal Reserve entirely might not even be necessary if we could just simply pass legislation to construe interest rates as a price. Banks would no longer be able to artificially adjust the prime lending rate. The same way your grocer, your greenhouse, and your gas station are not allowed to price fix, neither would central banks. Another thing to do is to check out Peter Schiff. Congratulations to Peter, all the way up to 402,000 subscribers on YouTube. Not sure what he's got on Twitter, but he's also on Instagram and Facebook, as you can see. Make sure you listen to his shows. His latest video is entitled Government to Sedate the Economy with More Stimulus. Yes, it's called Helicopter Money. And let's just play a clip here. I'm sure he'll be saying something relevant. Here's a little clip from Peter Schiff, by the way, who does not need the subscribers. He's doing this as a benefit to all of mankind, as like me, he would prefer to see all ships raised. Here's a clip.
Below their Q4 2019 revenue, and now they qualify for a PPP loan, i.e. grant.
So yeah, make sure you subscribe to that. Again, check out Mises.org, the Mises Institute, which supports Austrian economics. And of course, this is part of the beef that I had with Trump in the first place. So again, there needs to be a real market on money. There needs to be competition in the marketplace of banking. And until we have said competition in the marketplace of banking, capitalism is a figment of your imagination. Again, happy Federal Reserve Day. Understand the facts. Thanks for tuning into the video. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. Share the content on your social media. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, etc. All links will be below the video. And we'll see you next time here at the Smash News Network. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. SMASho, editor-at-large of the Smash News Network. Least busted name in news.